Y'all, I think I might be a Disney adult. Hello, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Liza, and it's true. I think I'm a Disney adult, which I resisted for a long time. But you know what? We're here to embrace ourselves. We're here to embrace all of the things that make us who we are, all of the things that make us cool and fun and unique, and maybe the tiniest bit annoying. But okay, anyway, let's take it back. I think I mentioned in the earlier video that I was in the midst of planning a friend trip to Disney World, which I'm so excited for. But that's not happening until the end of the year. And I was like, I gotta go to Disney sooner than that. So now I am also planning a family trip to Disney in the spring. Sorry, I'm trying to get comfortable here. Because listen, if you haven't caught on yet, this is going to be a real yap session. But grab yourself some water or some tea or some other fun drink, coffee, whatever you want. And settle in. Because I'm planning 2 Disney World trips this year, and I kind of can't believe that I'm going to go to Disney twice. Like, in 1 year. I'm very excited about that. And I tried to do this for our last trip. I announced that we were going last year in August, and the plan was to take you guys along with me in the process of planning a Disney World vacation, and then I just didn't do it. So sorry about that. But this time I got you. We're going to do this together. It's going to be so fun. Because one thing about me, I love to plan shit. I went to Disney, I think 3 times as a kid. Very cool. Very fun. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for taking me to Disney. And then I didn't go again until Ella was, I think she was like 3. So that was the first trip that I planned as an adult. And I didn't really know what I was getting into. And at the time I didn't know, right? So many things had changed between when I was 12 and when I was 33. Just with the process of Disney and just Disney property in general. And I just remember kind of going like, oh, I don't know, this is like a thing you do, right? You have kids and then take them to Disney World if you can. And I just got it in my head that we were going to go to Disney and started doing research. And turns out that while you can go to Disney with minimal planning or almost no planning, I think you're going to have a better, less stressful time if you do plan. And listen, you don't have to plan it to the extent that I plan Disney, but there are certain things that'll just make the trip go a little bit more smoothly if you plan them. And I think people can get overwhelmed or intimidated by the process, because I know I certainly did. But at the same time, I love a puzzle. I love a game. And that's what it feels like to me. It feels like a puzzle that needs to be solved or a game that you need to win. And now, as an adult, I have planned... Did I write that down? I have some notes here, guys, because this is serious business. Did I write down? Yes, I did. So I have been, as an adult, with my family 7 times, which is nuts. But that means that I've planned 7 Disney vacations. And I'm going to say of the 7, probably I got like an A++ twice. And then the rest of them were high A's, we'll say. So I'm pretty good at planning Disney vacations, to the point where I've had several friends ask me for advice when they plan their Disney vacations, and I love talking about it. That's the thing. I like doing it. I like doing it. So like I said, I've been 7 times. I've planned 7 vacations, and literally each one of them has been completely different, both because of how many kids were going, the ages of the kids that were going, the switching back and forth between Genie Plus and Lightning Lanes and Multipass, and it can, at a glance, be super overwhelming. But I think I've got it down to a pretty good science of making it simpler. I think one of my biggest tips for planning a Disney vacation right off the bat is that the best way to do it is to plan the crap out of it before you go. And then when you get there, let it release it to the winds and see where the magic takes you. Because you do want to go in with a plan. But there are so many opportunities for switching things up, and there is truly so much to see and explore at Disney World. I mean, this is the thing. You tell people who haven't been there or haven't been there a lot, oh, we're going to Disney again. And they're kind of like, why are you going back there again? And I'm just like, there's so much to see. Like, I've been 7 times and we still haven't done everything that we can do. So where do you begin? Okay, first of all, Disney is a trip. It's not a vacation. So if you're looking for something relaxing to do with your family or your partner or by yourself, your friends, whatever, Disney is probably not it. That being said, there are definitely ways to plan relaxation into your trip so that it doesn't exhaust you. I'm not selling this, am I? Anyway, for me it always starts with a little itch of like, ooh, it would be fun to go to Disney. I would love to be walking through the Magic Kingdom right now. I would love to be on Rise of the Resistance right now. And then starts the mental math. Like, I'm fully the math lady, just like trying to figure out, when can we go? Can we afford it? How long could we afford to go for? What are the schedules like? Can we make this happen? And once you do all of that mental math, it's time to narrow down some basics. And I always start with when we want to go and what resort we want to stay at. I'll definitely link some resources that I come back to all the time in the description below. But one of the biggest ones is WDW Prep School. They have everything on that website, including crowd calendars. So it's a really good way to figure out, you know, when is the best time to go to Disney. And you have to take that with a grain of salt, because the fact remains is that anytime you go to Disney, it's going to be crowded. Disney is a crowded place. There are times of year where maybe you might get lucky and it's slightly less crowded, which means like faster lines, a little bit less overwhelming in the parks. But again, there are always going to be people there. So if it's one of those things where it's like, well, I really want to go to Disney, but I can only go during a famously busy time like spring break or Christmas or whatever, you know, don't let that deter you from planning the vacation is what I'm saying, because truly anytime you go, it's going to be crowded. But that website has breakdowns of all the resorts and all of the parks and the crowd calendars, and they're pretty on point. So I highly recommend perusing around that website for sure. So when you go to Disney, you can either stay on property or you can stay off property. We have always stayed on property, which is so wonderful. Now, you can definitely save money. So if you're looking for Disney balling on a budget, you can absolutely stay off property and save some money that way. However, the thing I will always point out is that when you're in Disney, a lot of people say that time is money. And if you stay on property, you're going to save time simply because you're going to be closer to the parks. You can take advantage of the on property transportation system that they have. That's really great. So you just have to kind of weigh those things. Is it worth it to you to save a little bit of money, but potentially while you're there, have it take a little bit more time to get to and from the parks and all of those things? Or can you afford to stay on property? Once I narrow down when we want to go and either 1 or 2 or 3 resorts that we potentially want to stay at, I reach out to a Disney travel agent. And this is my big old tip number 2, is that use a Disney travel agent. There are so many out there. But the thing about Disney travel agents that I actually just learned, and I didn't actually vet this information completely, but I think it's legit. Disney travel agents are free. You don't have to pay for them. And they are going to have more knowledge about discounts and everything Disney. So using a travel agent is free, and they're just going to have more knowledge about Disney in general, including discounts that you can apply to your trip, and when the best time to book things is, and all of that information. And I'm pretty sure that Disney works into their package pricing, paying the travel agents. So whether you use a travel agent or not, you're paying the same price. So you might as well take advantage of that for sure. I've been using the same travel agent, I think, for 5 trips now of the 7. And she's great. I love her. I keep going back to her. So she's wonderful. So once I narrow down the dates and a couple of resorts, I shoot off my little email to Julie, and she will get back to me. The thing I love about Julie is that she's really good at like, here's the resorts that you picked, and then also here's one or two resorts that I really like that actually have a really good discount going on, and you might want to consider these. And she's just so good at all of those little details and presenting a lot of different options. So she'll send me all the quotes for the different resorts and the different kind of packages. Now, a package just means essentially your resort and your park tickets. And there are two different options for park tickets. You can do just a straight up park ticket, or you can do park hopper tickets. And the park hopper tickets allow you to go to more than one park per day. They are a little bit more expensive, but basically, if you're going for a really long time, you might not need a park hopper ticket. You can save a little bit of money that way and just pick one park per day and stick to that park. But if you're staying for a shorter amount of time, you might want to consider getting a park hopper ticket, and then you can utilize your time a little bit better while you're in Disney. Once I review all the quotes and pick the one that I want and send in the deposit, we're off to the races. Let's go. We're going to Disney. That is always such a fun moment to be like, oh my God, we're going to Disney World. I still get very excited every time. I so desperately want to pull off a wake up, we're going to Disney for my kids. That thing where you just keep the trip a secret, and essentially the morning of your flight, you wake them up and just say hey, do you want to go to school today, or do you want to go to Disney World? And I was determined to do it this time. Now, that being said, I know my girls, and Ella likes to know what's going on. So I probably actually wouldn't and will never do it with Ella. But I was going to wait until a week before and be like, guess what? But literally the second I booked that package, she texted me and said, oh, hey, my friends are going to this concert and I want to go. It's on this date. And it's the day we're flying to Disney. So I went into her room and I said, the bad news is you can't go to the concert. The good news is you can't go to the concert because we're going to Disney. Luckily, she was very excited about going to Disney and did not feel, bad about missing out on the concert. So, phew. So then I said to Ella, I was like, I think we're going to keep it a secret from Sid. We're going to do a wake up. We're going to Disney. So don't tell her. Well, later that night, Sydney had a kind of a rough day and was feeling really sad and really upset. And I said, you know what? Here, I have news that's going to cheer you up. Do you want to hear it? So I did spill the beans. So everybody knows we're going to have to save the wake up. Let's go to Disney for another trip. So now we're in kind of the best part of the planning process. And it's the part where you just get to fantasize about the perfect Disney vacation, right? You just get to decide, where do I want to eat? What rides do I want to go on? What does my perfect couple of days at Disney look like? This is when I'm watching all the Disney vlogs and doing a bunch of research on the websites and recalling past trips and what worked and what didn't. And this is actually a perk, obviously, of letting the kids know, is that they can help with the planning. It was funny because both of them, I asked them, okay, what's a restaurant that you absolutely have to go to this time? And both of them said the same restaurant, which is very fun. Apologies if the lighting shifts a ton here. I literally started recording at golden hour for some reason, but we're doing what we can. So it was really fun. They both picked the same restaurant. So that one is definitely going on the list, because I typically start my official day-to-day planning of the vacation with food. And that is because 60 days out from your Disney vacation is the first kind of big planning milestone. And it's when you get to make advanced dining reservations. If you're staying on property, you get to make them 60 days out for your entire vacation. And if you're staying off property, you get to make them 60 days out for each day of your vacations. Doing that really kind of dictates what you're doing each day, because there are a lot of restaurants all over Disney property at different resorts and at the different parks. So looking at where you end up getting your dining reservations for can help guide you to which parks you're going to do, which day, what time, etc. I am going to do a whole other video about the advanced dining reservations process, because that is one of the things that can feel very stressful, but it doesn't have to. So we're going to walk through that together a couple videos from now. So yeah, we're going in the late spring, which means we are quickly approaching 60 days out. I am Very excited. I'm right in the middle of making all the lists and figuring all the stuff out and using my little template guides that I use for all of my vacations, and I'm just so excited. So yeah, like I said, we're going to do a video that's a deep dive on the dining reservations process. I definitely want to take you through going through my Disney inventory, because here's the thing about me being a Disney adult. It feels very like compartmentalized for me because, and this is no tea, no shade to how other Disney adult, no shame, zero. But I personally don't necessarily need like Disney dish towels or a ton of Disney in my home when I'm not at Disney World. But when I'm there, I'm all about it. So what that means for me is that I have a couple of bins, a few bins at this point, of Disney things up in the attic. And that includes all of the clothes that we wear while we're there and all of the little things that you take on a Disney vacation. Part of the process is definitely going through all of that stuff, seeing what we need. So there is some shopping that needs to be done, which I love. I may or may not have already done a little bit of shopping. Do you guys want to see? Do you want to see? Wait, I have to show you because it just came today. Hold on. It's right here. So I always like to do matching shirts for our travel day. I think it's really cute. Kind of cheesy, but really cute. And look at the ones that I got for this one. This is Josephine's, obviously. But look how cute. Isn't that so cute? Meet me on Main Street. And all of us are in like a purple shade, and it's just so cute. I love it. It's definitely one of the more cheesy things that I like to do. But yeah, the point is, I definitely want to go through that inventory with you guys, and I'm sure there's going to be a haul of some sort of the stuff that I needed to get. And then 7 days out from your trip is when you get to book your lightning lanes or your lightning lane multipass or whatever it's called, the things that allow you to get in a shorter line. So we'll walk through that together too, because again, that's another one of those processes that can seem stressful, but it doesn't have to be. So we'll go through that for sure. So yeah, I'm really excited for this trip. I'm really excited to share it with you guys. If any of that Disney content interests you, I hope you will stick around. Give it a subscribe, give it a like, give it a comment, all of that good stuff. And if you're not into Disney, then I still hope you'll stick around because there's going to be other content mixed in there too. There's lots of birthdays coming up and all of the regular day in my life silliness. That is my regular content as well. But I hope you like this video. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you got this far. And I hope you're having an amazing day. And I'll talk to you soon. I really should have said, I'll see you real soon, because that's what... It's fine. I'll see you real soon. To really... Try that again. You're going to hate that face you just made.